Manny Pacquiao beats me, and he's the next champion. It felt a little. I felt humiliated.
The good thing is, my favorite is De La Hoya. De La Hoya is my inspiration while boxing or start boxing.
Can he do it? Can he do it? Absolutely. That's how much you can run. Oscar needs. He's a legend. You know, some nice ones. Thank you. He's a legend. I think he can do it.
It started the way these things always do. No press release. No exclusive interview. Just a ripple. One line drifting through boxing comment sections, TikTok captions, and Twitter threads. Oscar De La Hoya is training with Manny Pacquiao. There was no behind-the-scenes footage, no confirmation from either camp, but it didn't matter. The moment those two names appeared in the same sentence, boxing fans lost their minds. Some laughed it off, some called it outright fake, and others, "We're dead serious if this is real. Barrios is in trouble." Let's clear it up. Oscar De La Hoya is not part of Pacquiao's official camp. He's not in the corner, and he's not drawing up strategy on a whiteboard. But this rumor didn't spread because it was confirmed. It spread because fans wanted it to be true. When the Golden Boy and Pac-Man appear in the same sentence, after everything they've been through, you can't help but pay attention. This wasn't just a clickbait rumor, it was a legacy echo, a reimagined power shift. Because sometimes, even long after the final bell, one fighter can still cast a shadow over another's career. So today, we break it down, the real story behind the fake headline, and why even the idea of Oscar training Manny still hits harder than most punches. It all started with a sentence, no source, no confirmation, just whispers bouncing around TikTok, boxing Twitter, and fan forums. Oscar De La Hoya is training with Manny Pacquiao. Within hours, people weren't asking if it was true. They were debating why it actually made sense. And I'm just like, here's the truth. De La Hoya didn't join Team Pacquiao. There's no mitt work, no corner presence, no strategic breakdowns. But that didn't stop the story from spreading, because both men have been making noise in the fight world again. Oscar training, Manny preparing for his return against Mario Barrios, and that alone gave the rumor just enough fuel to catch fire.
You got spread over here.
The clickbait titles did the rest. Fans started screenshotting old clips of Oscar training, others reposted Manny's pad work, and then it snowballed. Oscar's back in shape. Maybe he dropped by the gym, he respects Manny. Maybe they talked. Game plan. But let's be real, Oscar isn't joining anyone's camp. What we're seeing is digital chaos, two legendary names moving at the same time, and the algorithm doing the matchmaking. And yet, the reason people believed it, even for a second, is because something about it felt right. Not logical, but emotional. The old rivalry flipping into mentorship, one icon helping another push through one last storm. That's the kind of story boxing fans crave. And sometimes, a fake headline reveals a real truth. Because even now, after everything, Oscar and Manny still live in the same orbit. To understand why this rumor even landed, you have to go back to December 6, 2008, at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. The fight was called the Dream Match. Oscar De La Hoya, boxing's golden boy, the pay-per-view king, the crossover icon, facing a smaller, faster Filipino southpaw with something to prove.
Since capturing Olympic gold, his professional record stands at 44 fights. 39 victories, including...
That night wasn't just a passing of the torch. It was a surgical legacy shift. De La Hoya left the sport, and Pacquiao ascended to global superstardom. In a poetic twist, the man once promoted by Oscar went on to eclipse him. That's why this rumor hits harder than it should, because when fans hear Oscar training Manny, what they're really hearing is forgiveness, evolution, respect, a rivalry transformed into an alliance. The man who once couldn't stop him, now guiding him.
a very tough beating to get me out of the sport. Manny Pacquiao. I mean, he beat the hell out of me. Manny Pacquiao would be right in front of me. He would, after hitting me 15 times, and then I would be ready to hit him, and he would be wide open, and I couldn't pull the trigger.
They were never meant to stand on the same side. But 16 years later, the idea of Oscar giving back to the man who ended his career, that's not just storytelling. That's legacy on loop. And that's why one fake headline set the boxing world on fire. Because fans remember what happened the last time those two shared a ring. And deep down, they want to see what would happen if they ever shared a corner. If this rumor had involved anyone else, it would have fizzled out in hours. But Oscar de la Hoya isn't just anyone. He's still one of boxing's most powerful names. Not just for what he did in the ring, but for what he built outside of it. As the founder of Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar isn't just watching the sport. He's shaping it. He's launched careers, negotiated mega fights, and every now and then, he still steps back into the gym himself. In the past few years, he's floated comeback ideas, sparred lightly in front of cameras, and weighed in on big matchups with surprising sharpness. He's also shown love to Pacquiao publicly, calling him one of the best fighters of our era in multiple interviews. And that's what added fuel to the fire, because when Oscar talks about Pacquiao, it's not with bitterness, but with respect, tactical respect, legacy-level respect. So when fans saw both men trending at once, Manny ramping up for a new fight and Oscar appearing more and more in training videos, the math felt easy. Maybe they linked up, maybe it's a private move, maybe Oscar's just trying to help. One last time.
Can you please, Manny, tell me the truth? That's it. That's it. Why? Why are you coming back? And the warrior that Manny is, he's gonna be like, because I love to fight. And I want to fight the best. And I've been watching boring fights, and I want to come back and give a show against Barrios, who's a world champion.
The timing added tension too. Pacquiao's training again, De La Hoya's active again. Both legends back in motion. And let's be honest, if you're a young fighter looking to sharpen your game, you'd jump at the chance to get input from either one. So when fans imagined Oscar stepping into Manny's world, even for just one session, it didn't feel like fantasy. It felt like strategy.
The Golden Boy!
Oscar explained that the power he felt from Pacquiao wasn't overwhelming in a single shot. It was something different, something cumulative. Not a bomb, but a blade. And he's right. Pacquiao didn't win that fight with one punch. He didn't drop Oscar or knock him out cold. He broke him down round by round with angles, speed, and volume until Oscar's body gave out before his will ever did.
In training camp, when preparing for Pacquiao. So I knew that was the end already for me, because Pacquiao was just coming up.
Yeah.
Pacquiao was like the star in the making, but what really screwed up my whole training for that fight was I started drinking heavy during training camp, and nobody knew. I mean, so I was literally a dead man walking into the ring, and I had no chance whatsoever. And
that's the essence of Manny's style. He doesn't beat you with brute force. He overwhelms you with rhythm. He slices instead of smashes. And if you can't adapt by round 3, you're toast by round 8.
Fighting Manny Pacquiao. Yeah. It's something entirely new.
I mean, Oscar de la Hoya hasn't got off the schneid. He's getting nice straight left hand by Pacquiao.
That's why fans bought into the idea of Oscar giving Manny pointers. Because Oscar didn't just feel those combinations, he survived them. He knows exactly what it's like to be on the receiving end of that rhythm and pressure. And if there's anyone who could help dissect it, refine it, maybe even slow it down for a new opponent, it's the man who once stood frozen in front of it. Oscar never disrespected Pacquiao's power. He decoded it. And in boxing, that's the ultimate form of respect. So let's say, for argument's sake, the rumor was true. Oscar de la Hoya walks into Manny Pacquiao's camp, wraps his hands, and steps into the gym not as a rival, but as a trainer. What would he actually bring to the table? For starters, timing. Oscar wasn't just a puncher. He was a technician. A sharp jab, surgical bodywork, clean foot positioning. If Manny is all angles and speed, Oscar was all fundamentals and control. Now imagine pairing those two philosophies. Pacquiao's chaos with De La Hoya's structure. One overwhelms you, the other dissects you. It's not a clash, it's a fusion. And let's not forget, they're both southpaws turned chameleons. Fighters who've switched angles mid-fight and adapted to orthodox sluggers, slick counterpunchers, and everything in between. Oscar knows what it takes to adjust, especially when your opponent is younger, taller, and has a full gas tank. Pacquiao's next opponent, Mario Barrios, checks all those boxes. If there were ever a time for Manny to tighten his defense, set traps, and control range with patience, it's now, and Oscar's experience, especially at welterweight, could have helped fine-tune that approach.
De La Hoya, 10 seconds left. De La Hoya hears it, hears the crowd, acknowledges it. Sugar comes in for more, gets the left hand again.
Right. Tighten your fist. Is that kind of how you do it?
Right. What you do is at impact, when you're gonna get ready to throw that punch, in your mind you're thinking, I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna throw it. When it's halfway here, you close it. The reason why we keep it open is because the punch, when it's relaxed, comes much faster. If you're so tense and you want to throw it so strong, the punch, you can see it in your face. First of all, your opponent can see it in your face, and the punch comes harder but slower.
There's also the mental angle. Oscar's been through fight weeks as the A-side, B-side, crowd favorite, and villain. He's promoted under pressure, lost under pressure, and bounced back again. Manny doesn't need motivation, but having someone beside him who knows how to orchestrate pressure, that changes everything. And it's not like Oscar hasn't given technical advice before. He's been caught on camera coaching Golden Boy. Fighters mid-round, adjusting guard positions, even reminding boxers when to breathe. He's a natural ring general, quietly shaping younger talent with old-school IQ. So guys, subscribe to my channel for more updates and boxing news.